everybody, and welcome back to another great edition of my Grue Rume Show. And for the Grue Rume Show today, we have a very cool guest, and he is an actor, a writer, and a filmmaker. And his name is Adam Fox, and he stars as Bud in a series called Sugar Highs. So we're going to talk to him all about that and about his previous work. I'm really looking forward to this one. And I am Rocco Cross. I am the host at Stutters. I am the host of the Grue Room, and my interview be coming up very soon. This is my Grue Room, and as always, welcome to my nightmare. Stay tuned. All right, welcome to Grue, and welcome to Grue again. And thanks so much for taking time out and coming on the show, bud.
Thanks for having me.
Definitely. So like the first thing I wanted to ask is, I see you do a little bit of everything. You write, you act, and you make films. So which one of them came first to you?
I would say, I guess acting came first.
Okay.
But I did modeling before acting, and then kind of was first just like dabbling in everything. I basically left, I was going on an academic route. I went to a school called McGill in Montreal in Canada.
Oh, okay.
And then left and didn't finish the degree and was just like, I want to try everything that I never thought was a possibility. So I took like just a bunch of random classes, like part-time, locally, like a painting class, a drawing class, a creative writing class, an acting class. Like I tried everything. And yeah, and then I would say acting for sure was like the one that I really started to like kind of delve more into and think, okay, maybe I could do this. And then while I was in school, actually, we got some opportunities to do a bit of writing. Within my degree, we had like a class called Create Your Own Work in my last semester, which, yeah, so that was cool because we got the opportunity to like give our hand at creating something. And then I also had like a playwriting course, which was really cool. And I think like taught me a lot about character development. And it was, I thought that was really cool because it was very like almost otherworldly, like the way that you kind of like some of the exercises were really cool. It would be like, you think of your character. She would like have the teacher named Lizzie Olesker at NYU would have like little cutouts for everyone to grab, and you would just, it was like a lot of this stuff. At the end of the day, creatively, it's so much about like, the more you do it, the more you're like, it's really about what your first instinct is. So it's like you look at all these cutouts, which one jumps out to you, just grab it, and then you sit down with your cutouts and do things like you can't take the pen off the paper for like 3 minutes, and you just have to like free write. Like stuff like that. And it's just really interesting, just because you are basically just conjuring people and characters in your mind, right?
Well, yeah, definitely.
So yeah, and then after school, after finishing NYU, I made my first short while still living in New York.
Okay.
And it went quite well. And then it inspired me to write a lot. So I've written at this point like 2 features and 3 shorts in a series. The series I'm working on developing, and I've made 2 shorts. And then the features, we'll see.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah.
And like you live in Canada now,
Vancouver.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the acting scene there has gotten like really good compared to a few years ago. Like from what I hear, like having different guests on and interviewing them, like a lot of guests I interviewed live in Canada, and they praise like how much work they get, because they said Canada is like a hot spot now for films.
For sure. Yeah. So basically, I think like the heyday for Vancouver was probably like the early 2000s.
Okay.
And then I think since then it's kind of ebbed and flowed a bit.
Oh, okay.
But I think now with like the streamers, a lot of them now have like a headquarters here. Like Netflix has their own studio here.
Oh, wow.
So they make a lot of stuff here. And then networks are still making stuff here. Like So Help Me Todd is filmed here, which is CBS. Some Apple TV shows are shot here. There's like a lot happening here, which is awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
And hockey's also, I mean, Canada's also known for hockey. So do you
Yeah.
watch hockey at all?
Depends who's asking. If the audition says that I love hockey, absolutely. Um, yeah. I sort of feel like I'm so far removed from finding. I love like doing things. I'm more of a doer than a watcher. So like I would rather
Okay.
play sports than watch them.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but I sometimes feel like so far removed from that like when I meet somebody that like loves watching it, I like have to like really try to like put myself in their shoes and think like, what do they like about this? Like, this is so interesting. And I always feel like they're like making it up and they don't actually like it. But people clearly love sports. So yeah.
Yeah. And the last time we talked, like we were talking about horror films and all, and I
Mhm.
saw that you were actually involved in a couple horror shows, The Sinners and Deep Web.
Yes, yes. Deep Web for sure is a horror. So Deep Web, I knew the writer of it, and yeah, sadly he has passed. So
Oh,
that was really sad for the community here. He was a really awesome guy. His name was Dan Zachary. Very creative, supportive, also part of the LGBTQ community, which was great. But yeah, it was like his own idea, and he was just like, "Hey, do you want to do a role in it?" And I was like, "Yeah." My scene wasn't very scary though. It was
oh
just,
no.
I was just like a crazed fan.
Well, I mean, that could be scary, especially for the person the crazed fan is stalking.
Hmm. Totally.
And what about the Sinners? Was that like a horror show?
Yeah, so I was more so working behind the scenes on The Sinners. And again, I know it was also like a friend, like I know some of the people that made it.
Hmm.
And I was just sort of helping out in the pickups, like they were filming a little bit of extra stuff. But I haven't gotten to see Deep Web, but I have seen The Sinners, and it turned out super well.
Oh, nice.
Um, yeah. I think what's similar about both of them is I feel like both Courtney Page and Dan Zachary both had like a really clear vision, like visual idea of what they
Hmm.
wanted to do. Um, and it was fun watching The Sinners too, because I'm friends with like half the cast,
Oh,
and
that's awesome.
yeah, I know a lot of the people in it, and yeah, it was a really unique idea, I think, like the seven sins and then the seven flowers, and yeah, I think really interesting.
Yeah, nice. And what I I see like a couple things that you made. Like, what inspired you to make
Mismatch.
mismatch and
Yeah.
can boy?
Yeah. So okay, so if you I imagine we're going off my IMDb. So
Yeah.
okay, so the shorts that I've done more recently. So Still Got It is the one that I wrote, acted and
Hmm.
directed in. So that one was based on my own experiences in modeling, particularly like when I decided to try to get back into modeling while I was living in New York, and how
Okay.
badly it went. And it's like a bit of a comedy of errors. Like my character like thinks he looks just as good as when he was in his heyday of modeling. Everybody else thinks he doesn't, and he's just not getting it. Um, and like even his boyfriend's like, "Oh, you said you wanted to lose weight," and I'm like, "I never said that." Um, uh, yeah. So, and again, based on experiences like in modeling and in the gay world, like I've unfortunately had like a lot of people I've dated or just people I've not dated um, body shame me, which is a sad reality.
Oh my
Um,
God.
Yeah, and of course in the modeling industry, like, tons of that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure
So
there is.
pardon?
And especially with that modeling,
Yeah.
like I'm sure there's a lot that goes around in modeling.
Well, and I think at the time, like I sadly was in modeling before like the industry evolved both with like more body diversity and um openness to like queerness. Like I feel
Oh,
like when
okay.
I was doing it, it was very like make sure to look strong, make sure to butch it up, blah da 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 da
Okay,
in
gotcha.
casting. Like it was not like I once did a photo shoot, sent it to my agent, and he was like, you look kind of big and these photos are too soft, like AKA they look too feminine and you look fat.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah, which like nobody would ever say now, I don't think. But
Wow.
and the other interesting thing I found in modeling was just like particularly when I did overseas contracts, when you are actually modeling, like that is actually your main job. Um, people feel like they have a lot of license to comment on your appearance. So like even strangers in a club would be like, oh, like, are you tall enough? Like, oh, you look kind of like your belly, or like a lot of like just comments from like complete strangers
Oh my God, that's
if they
crazy.
think you're a model. Yeah. So it's like cool to do it, but also it kind of is like setting yourself up for everybody feeling they can like comment on your appearance in a kind of crazy way. But yeah, so the short is just like a fun kind of absurd, almost satirical look at modeling, body dysmorphia, pressures within like the LGBTQ community when it comes to physique.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, it's pretty, it's very my kind of humor. So I stand by it and I think it's really funny. And I'm just, yeah. And I'm excited now because now I'm in the stage of like, it's gone through festivals and now I'm
Oh, okay.
pitching it to like streamers. And then the other two are like COVID things. So basically, I did two different. Um, one of them mismatched was like a distance project, so we filmed it all separately, which was pretty challenging, but I think the result was cool. And then the other one, Camboy, we did film in person with like a skeleton crew
Oh, wow.
with this Vancouver director named Jason Carmen, who's doing really well. He just did his first feature and it's blowing up. So
Oh, nice.
I was glad to work with him and I've always really liked him. I was meant to do one of his projects in 2016, but that was when I ended up going to NYU. So I had to
Uh,
not do
uh,
it, sadly. But I was glad that I was able to do that unfinished business. And yeah, he's a really wonderful human and we've stayed friends.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that
Nice.
was a long answer.
Nah, that's great. I love it. I mean, you talked about all the shorts and stuff that
Yeah,
you were making. That's great.
yeah.
So this you're part of this big show now, Sugar Highs, and you played a role of Bud. So what drew you to playing Bud, and what do you like most about him?
Yeah, so I touched on it a little bit the other day when we were interviewing with everybody, but
Hmm.
I feel like, and I feel like a lot of like queer people could relate to this. I feel like there's like a limb of our personality that's just like quite Bud like, quite like sassy or bitchy or whatever it is. And like, I think we all have it in us. Some people, it's what they present with and what they lead with.
Yeah.
Some people, it comes out a little bit every so often. I have like, I'm generally quite kind, but I have like a couple select like longtime best friends where like I feel like I can just like say once in a while like terrible things about people and it feels good. It feels good, honestly. So like but I am so selective about doing that and I don't like to do like it's not like I want to do that often, but once in a while it's cathartic. And Bud has a sharp tongue and um definitely has like an assertiveness about him.
Hmm.
And so I think it's like tapping into a part of myself that is like it's like a dormant volcano that gets to come out when playing this role. And And yeah, I would say like it's cool because it's like generally, regardless of gender, like the more kind of femme person in a group tends to like not be the leader. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
cool because in this show, it's like this kind of like motley crew of roommates who are also friends and have a connection. Um, and in spite of being like quite effeminate, he is clearly like the boss and like the
Well, yeah,
assertive one and
exactly.
kind of like a badass in a way, and telling them what to do, no fear in telling people what to do, no fear in saying whatever he wants to people. He does not think about repercussions much. And it's nice as somebody who like is quite neurotic and sensitive and like is always thinking like, oh shit, did I like offend that person? Or oh no, did I say the wrong thing? Maybe I should apologize to that person for what for that one weird comment 3 weeks ago, you know, like that's like how my mind would normally work. So to just like get to roll in and be like, that looks like shit is kind of nice. Um, and then we're obviously not talking that much about season 2 yet because we don't have a release date. But what's
Yeah.
fun in season 2 is that the direction of the show, I think, gets a little bit more heated up and comedic. And as a result, like Bud gets to be a little bit more high octane.
All
Uh,
right. Okay.
and he's more in like of a starts in a more desperate place, and that manifests itself in how he interacts with people and the brazenness, which becomes even more brazen. So that's fun.
Oh. It
Yeah.
it definitely sounds fun.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a
And
lot of aggression in season 2. We'll see what like makes it into the show. But yeah, like what I experienced was a lot of aggression on my part.
oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you were saying, Bud is basically the brains of the group. Like he's the one that
Yeah.
gets everything going. He gets the ball
Mhm.
rolling, and he's the one
Mhm.
that wants to have the fun and get paid for it. And
Yeah.
so
Exactly.
so yeah, Bud is like the fun brainy like kind of guy.
Yeah, I feel like I watch a lot of uh Real Housewives, and like they call within like the franchises, they call the people that like stirs shit up and get stuff going like the force multiplier, which is actually a football term.
Oh really?
Yeah, so like a force multiplier is like the one where like when they're in the scene everybody kind of activates. So it's like the character that's like bringing things to life a little bit.
Nice. No,
Yeah.
that's a great way of putting it down for Bud.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that. And like you said, I know you can't talk about season 2, and you don't even know like what's going to be in it yet. But like from from the the fans love season 1, and they've been wanting for season 2. They've been looking forward to season 2. What do you think the fans will like most about season 2?
Yeah. I mean, I think like it's funny because I think the show is so like short that it's sort of
Mhm.
like people probably like get into it and then they're like, wait, that's it.
Yeah, yeah,
There's only
exactly.
6 like 20-minute, 22-minute episodes.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
very bingeable. Um, so I think what they'll like about it is um I think the relationships are stronger. Like between the roommates and I, like Joey, Sam, and I, in real life and on screen.
Yeah.
Um, I think in my case, I think there's Ursula, like who plays Sarah. Her and I have a lot of scenes together, and those are super fun. Um, I think we have really good chemistry. Um, there's like there's a lot of sexiness, but there's maybe less sex, which is kind of fun. Um, there's more like kind of ridiculousness, which is I think lends well to like the content and style of the show.
Okay.
Um, Feels a little bit more high energy, I think. So I think fans will enjoy um yeah, maybe a bit like more energy, higher production value. Um and just like I think the cool thing about a series and getting a second season is it's like coworkers and everybody's sort of in a groove and
Yeah, definitely.
like I feel like season one, everybody was sort of figuring it out. Whereas like season two, I feel like there were so many takes where like they'd say cut and like Tom, the director, would be laughing, like crew members would be laughing. And obviously you can't start to expect that or you'll get screwed up. But it obviously does feel good.
Oh yeah, definitely, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And if you weren't doing films and acting, like what do you think you would have done? Like, do you think you would have went like a different route if you weren't involved with acting?
Yeah. I mean, I think not to toot my own horn too much, but I think like I'm generally drawn to other actors that are also like smart, like book smart as well.
Yeah.
Um, just because I think it adds to the kind of longevity um, in this industry. But I think if I weren't acting or doing film, my mom is a psychologist, and I
Oh
do think I
wow.
have some sort of like genetic like passed down genes from her that like just make me good at instincts with people
Yeah.
and reading people and um like I feel like there will be people where I'm like I hate that guy, but everybody else is like, well, he's nice to me, and then 6 months later he's like everybody hates him, so I'm like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so I don't even like at this point I don't even bother like having problems with anyone because I just figure anybody that like I have a bad instinct about, everybody else will figure it out later. So I just stay peaceful.
Oh, okay.
Not my job. Because yeah, they'll figure it out eventually. Um yeah, and I do have just I think I have a bit of a sixth sense with people. And then if it wasn't psychology, I do like the idea of being a lawyer.
Oh
Uh,
wow, really?
and I do like I think I'm business savvy, so I like anything sort of entrepreneurial. Um, yeah, I think like the irony about like going into acting was it was almost like a practical decision. Like there was just so many things I found interesting throughout my life. Fashion was a big one as well. Like when I was
Yeah.
younger, I wanted to be a fashion designer. I also wanted to be a cookbook author for a lot of my life,
Oh, get out.
and I still would. I still love cooking, and I love the idea of like um eventually being in like a nice home where I like cook a lot and entertain and have like a bit more of like a cozy life.
What kind of
um
what kind of dish do you like? Do you like to cook the most?
well, so the irony and maybe why that it didn't continue in that direction was as I got older I started having a lot more like food restrictions and sensitivities, so I'm a lot more limited. But sorry, I live right downtown in Vancouver, so there's sirens.
My dog is barking, so it don't matter.
Oh, perfect. I can't hear it. Um, but yeah, I would say because of my restrictions, I can't have gluten or dairy. I particularly like to cook um from like cuisines where there is a lot of dairy or gluten because it's harder to get at a restaurant. So like I love to cook
Yeah.
Italian at home because I have a lot of ways that I can make it like delicious within my restrictions.
Oh wow.
And I'd say, yeah, Italian's probably like the thing I make at home the most. This week I made if you've had arancini balls.
Oh my God, I love those
Yeah.
things.
I
Yes.
made like I had leftover like makeshift, not I can't even call it risotto, but it was like rice and
Yeah.
coconut milk with some veggies and stuff. And I just like turned them into arancini and they were delicious. So that's like an
Oh
example. Yeah.
man. I love those things. I'm so addicted to them. Like every
Mhm.
Friday I stop by this little shop in Philly and I always buy them.
I bet they have really good ones. Yeah, East Coast, the US has amazing Italian food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, those are so good. Tomorrow
Mhm.
is Friday, so I'm definitely gonna be picking
You're
them up.
ready. Yeah.
So, what do you like doing during your free time when you're not acting or doing films or writing films?
So, my life is a little different in the last year because I had a concussion last summer. So,
Ooh.
I tend to be a little bit more of a slower paced person. So I mean, I still like love seeing friends. But for example, like I'd rather like it was a birthday party, I'd rather like a more intimate thing than like
Mhm.
a loud club with like bright lights and blasting
Yeah,
music
yeah.
and a zillion like sweaty people. Whereas like definitely like pre-concussion, like I loved all that stuff. So and I still sometimes like that and aspire to one day like that again, but it just is day to day and sometimes like that'll just give me a headache and feel awful.
Oh,
But yeah, in my spare time, I love to work out a lot, love to do yoga, dance classes.
oh, nice.
I love being in nature as much as possible. I visit my family a lot when I'm in Vancouver, who live not too far away.
Hmm.
Um, Luckily, a lot of my friends here are within like a 10 to 20-minute walk, which is nice.
Okay.
Um, I like to I love Sundays when like I have like an open day and like do like spontaneous things like smoke weed and go for a walk, listen to music, feel kind of connected and um yeah. I'm trying to watch more movies and TV shows, but again, like I am more of like a doer than a watcher. So
Yeah, exactly.
mhm.
So you prefer like hiking and camping over going to the beach or
Oh, I love the beach. No, I love the
okay.
beach. I go to the beach a
Okay.
lot. But again, like I feel like post concussion, it is a little different. Like I feel like I still love going to the beach, but um like the thought, like if it was suddenly really hot right now, I don't know how I would feel, but like right now, the thought of going to the beach is not appealing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But normally the beach is like my thing.
Okay.
So I don't know. I just like with the concussion, like I'm just so day to day, I am who I am each day, and that's what it is.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And is there any artist or band that you would love to see live this year?
This year. I would love to see Taylor Swift. I remembered all the drama around the tickets. And I didn't realize
Yeah.
it wasn't that the tickets were that expensive. It was that like people, like bots on StubHub were buying them and bots were buying them to resell on like StubHub or something crazy like that. It's not that her tickets were super expensive. It's that the they were like purchased by like computers and then resold, which is messed up. I'm
Damn.
hoping that she announces Canada dates because all the US ones, it's the tickets on StubHub are crazy and
Oh my God, I know.
yeah. So she would be one. Apparently Amanda Marshall's going on tour. I doubt you know who she is. She's like a Canadian musician from the 90s. Everybody's kind of coming back. Like
Oh wow,
all the
okay.
90s people are coming back. She's going on tour. I saw that. Um, who else is touring? I would have loved to see Halsey, but missed that.
Yeah.
But I should be more on top of the tours. Oh well.
And I mean, I know you say you probably you don't watch like a lot of TV and movies, but if you were
Compared to
binge
others.
watching something, like, is there any television shows you like to binge watch?
Um, yeah, I mentioned the like Real Housewives thing.
Yeah.
So that is one of them for sure. Um, Particularly, I used to love the New York franchise, and more recently Potomac. And then aside from Real Housewives, I've been binging like Outer Banks.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Enjoying that, very beachy and fun. Um, Really loved Sex Lives of College Girls. Binge
I saw
that.
that. Yes.
Yeah, that was a favorite. Succession. Yeah, those three come to mind in terms of like
Okay.
recent watches.
Did you see
Conversations with Friends was really good too.
oh, okay.
It was like a Irish British show.
Nice.
Yeah. And I tend to watch a lot of like psychological thriller series from like Europe for whatever reasons. And there's
Oh, okay.
a lot from England. So I binge like, and those are easy to binge because of course like it ends on a cliffhanger each episode.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, last time we talked, I'm a big horror guy. There's like a good horror series that just came out, and it's called Wolf Pack,
Okay.
and Sarah Michelle Gellar stars in it. Buffy.
Oh yeah. I want to watch that. That sounds good.
She's awesome in it. Like I love Sarah Michelle Gellar. Like Buffy is like one of my favorite shows. I love that show.
I haven't watched it. Who's is Spike the hot one, or is his
Oh,
name
Spike.
Spike?
Yeah, that Spike's the one that she falls in love with. She fights the vampires, but then she falls in love with one.
No. Interesting. As it happens, right?
Yes, exactly. And is there an app that you like using the most or watching the most? Like, are you more of a Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat? Like,
Oh, I thought you were like calling me out, like, and we were meeting like a dating app, and I was like,
well, I mean,
like, do I answer that question?
I mean,
Um, it'd
dating
be
apps
funny
are
if
apps too.
somebody was like, oh, my favorite app is Sniffies. We actually don't even have that in Canada though. Um, I I try to spend less time on apps as much as possible. I find it really annoying because I feel like I put a time limit on my Instagram.
Oh, you
I
did?
think I did. Yeah, I've had it for a couple of years. But it's so annoying because like I get it, like if you're like responding to an Instagram story or like sharing things, but I find it so weird when like friends of mine, like real like good friends of mine will like have a first message like, what are you up to this week on Instagram rather than text? And it's like, you have my actual phone number. Like this is, and it's like it's an annoying app to use instead of texting. Like texting, especially if you have like an Apple computer, like you can be texting on your laptop so it's easier on your hands. And like
Exactly.
texting, like you see it right there. Like Instagram, it's like you have to like go on there, go to the message. It's like it's so much more work to get to point A, and I'm like, why did you choose there? And I feel like that's like a battle I've lost. I feel like for a while I was telling friends like, hey, I have a time limit, can you text me instead? But I've given up on that. But I guess I do still like Instagram. TikTok, I don't think I'm Gen Z enough for,
Okay.
but I like to post on it randomly. Um, Twitter I don't really use, but I have it. I actually still like Facebook
Oh,
because
okay.
just because like I feel like I have like from traveling and living a bunch of places, I feel like I have like people on there that I haven't seen in a long time, but like it's like it's nice like almost like bibliography of all your like friendships and people you've met. Which Instagram isn't quite the same because like people are it's more about like what like Instagram literally tells you like who you've engaged with the least.
Yeah,
And like some of
exactly.
those people you engage with the least might be like people that like you would never unfollow because like, oh, like, we spent a week together in like Bali or something. But like it's reduced to like dumb like content BS stuff. I would love less apps, and it's like I find as much as I am on my phone a decent amount, I feel like
Mhm.
the thing I find the most like gross about modern society is like I hate when people post like them hanging out and like the other person's just on their phone as if that's cool. I'm like, hello, like you're hanging out. Like
Yeah.
you've reached the reason why you use a phone is to
Yeah,
connect with
exactly.
people, ideally in person eventually. So you've reached that point. Why the heck are you still on your phone? Like engage.
Exactly. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about with that. That
yeah.
annoys me so much. Like
It's
if I'm
so stupid. I'm
I
grateful that like the majority of my friends, like when you're with them, you're with them.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's how it should be. Like there's a lot of times when I'm out with a friend and I'll be in the middle of talking to him and he'll have his head down checking a post on Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah.
And I'm like, did you even hear what I said?
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
I'm sorry. I was just checking this out. What did you say? I'm like, forget it.
Yeah. Annoying.
It is. It is. It's very annoying. So I'm 100% with you on that. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you were out with friends at a bar or something, is there any drink that you like the most? Is there like a drink of choice that you do?
Yeah. Well, so I sort of if I'm going, it's so I always laugh because like whenever people have been like, oh, I can't go out, I spent too much or it's too
Yeah.
expensive. Like I don't spend money when I go out. Like at most I'll get one or two drinks.
Yeah.
Really like what I did when I was younger is I would just like drink a lot before I left
Oh, okay. That's
and
smart.
then be like, it's not as pleasant because obviously drinking feels better when you do it gradually over time. Um, but I would just be like, I'll drink as much as I can before I leave. If other drinks are bought for me, then I'll drink more, and if not, I drink enough. But I do love a good cocktail. I would say at this stage in my life, um, for whatever I used to love white wine, for whatever reason, it's been hitting not as pleasantly. So I kind of crave like a dirty vodka martini with
I
olives.
like it.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. I like it.
Yeah. Again with the middle-aged woman thing. I like literally I was in Seattle and was trying to get work done on a laptop, but Wi-Fi wasn't working anywhere. And I went to a bookstore, bought a book, and then went and got like a martini and like read and had a martini. And it was like this is 50. But yeah, I hope to come back to my younger self soon.
Okay, there you go. And is there anything coming up next for you that you want to plug? I mean, we all know that season 2 is coming out for
Yeah.
Sugar Highs. Like, is there anything else you're working on?
Well, I'm hoping that I'm able to still got it, my short film on some sort of streaming soon that I can share. I'd love for more people to see it. I'm working on developing a series, but it's still in development, so I won't talk too much about that yet.
Okay.
It's LGBTQ comedy called The Sisterhood of the Traveling Wigs, with a really great showrunner who's done a lot of great queer stuff named Kyle Whitelaw, who's super cool.
Okay.
So I'm excited to be working with him, and I feel I'm in good hands. And then yeah, in terms of acting, I mean, there is the sort of like writer's strike right now, but still auditioning a decent amount and getting myself out there and hoping something cool comes along soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And lastly is where can fans follow you at?
So they can follow me at Adam Fox Official on Instagram, which is definitely the app I use the most, in spite of my rant. Uh, Twitter, I would like to use it more. So if I got followers there, I'm sure I would. Again, Adam Fox Official. Facebook would just be Adam Fox. And TikTok is Adam Fox Official.
Sweet, sweet.
Yeah.
Well, buddy, again, thanks for coming back on. Like,
Yeah, my pleasure. That was fun.
yeah, it's always fun talking to you. You're really
Yeah.
awesome. Thank
So are
you.
you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We'll definitely have a great Friday, and I mean it's Thursday. Oh my God, I'm
Thursday,
jumping
yeah.
ahead. It's
We're almost there. We're
yeah.
almost there.
Well, we'll have a good Thursday and good weekend coming up.
You too. Nice chatting.
Nice chatting with you.
Bye.
Bye.